I'm a fucking victim! You're dry-mouthed privilege!
Food is really good and moving hard sucks.
Are you attracted to me, Nick?
What the fuck are you talking about?
I got another victim ticket. As God is my witness, the milk is in the cock-sucking bag!
Agree to disagree's a fancy way of saying fuck you.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Agree and Disagree with Nick Beaton. I am Nick Beaton. Thanks for joining me today. My guest is Nikki Payne. She's one of the best comics that this country has ever produced, this country being Canada. And we had a great talk. You're going to love it. Before I get into the video, if you are, or podcast, whichever you're listening, watching, whatever you're doing, subscribe to it, like the video, follow the podcast, rate and review it. It really, really helps. It's a free way to support the podcast. It helps me out a great deal. Now, let's get to the talk with Nikki Payne. All right, here I am with Nikki Payne, and before I hit record, she is fired the fuck up. So we are ready to get into this. It's Agree and Disagree. The two topics that we picked today, the first one we'll talk about that we agree on is about victimhood has now become a status symbol. We both agree on that. First of all, just one question to set it off. When did you first notice this trend? I first noticed it in like the mid 2010s. That's when I really started seeing, like, with social media posts, Instagrams, TikToks, different things that started coming out, people like really bigging up how life fucked them hard and we should give a shit. When did you notice?
I noticed because I used to do anti-bullying things.
Yeah.
And they didn't really want to hear what I had to say, Nick. Because it was basically, first time, you couldn't even say bully. That's when it hit me. When you couldn't even say the word bully anymore.
I'm in
I'm in a mood, Nick.
Why wouldn't they let you say bully? I've never heard this.
It's correct to call someone a bully. It's mean to call a bully, Nick.
Well, okay.
I couldn't say bully, and I sure as hell couldn't say sometimes when you've done being funny and you've done, like, ignoring them, punching them in the fucking mouth is about all you can do, Nick. And they stopped hiring me for the bully. Anti whatever the fuck you call a bully now. Can I swear?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
That second part tracks for sure. I didn't realize that they did a thing where they stopped calling people.
Oh yeah, I don't know now
bullies.
because they kicked me out. I wasn't allowed.
Now, maybe it's back and all your advice stands, but no, because that is actually the advice of how to deal with a bully. Like, yeah, for sure, try ignoring them and stuff, but
yeah,
like that's what I was taught as a kid. You have to punch them eventually.
Find how you fit in, right? Find how you fit in and be that person instead of the chick that spits when she talks, right? Like, it's like, oh, she spits when she talks, but damn, she's funny.
Yeah.
Right? That. And then there came a point where I had to punch Dougie Julian in the fucking mouth. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, sorry, Dougie. I'm sure you're a lovely man out there with children, but you know as well as I do that I had to fucking punch you in the face outside Green Gables. You know it as well as I do.
Dougie is my biggest fan and subscriber, and I just lost him thanks to this fucking episode. He's gone now. No.
Bye, Doug.
See you, Doug.
Doug is a good person, okay?
Yeah,
he was a child. That's the other thing. He was a child. You're not going to hold somebody. Like, that's another thing this world does. It's like, oh, I'm going to hold you to today's standards by, where you were in 2018. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's kids. Obviously, when they're bullies, they can grow out of it. But one of the things that helps them grow out of it is that punch in the mouth. Sometimes, like, there has to be some thing that lets them know you've crossed the line. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong, like a 12-year-old kid punching another.
Too. I'm a dirty fighter, Nick. I come from a trailer park. I'm dirty. I threw dirt in his eyes and I scratched him.
That
sorry,
sounds
Doug.
Messy. So do you think society rewards victimhood more now than actual achievements?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%, dude. 100%. And I can feel them kick-kacking already. I can feel them. I can feel the people going, oh, yeah, oh, this is white supremacy. This is Nazism. Fuck you, okay? I am no Nazi, okay? And you know why? This right here is my golden fucking ticket, shitheads, okay? Because the Nazis, I would have at best, with a cleft lip and palate, been fucking neutered, okay? And worse, probably just killed as a baby, okay? So don't. And that's the problem, Mick. That's the fucking problem. I've been on the phone with Instagram all day, okay? I bought the check mark, I bought the goddamn check mark, and then they kicked me out of fucking Instagram. So it's a long
Why?
story. It's a long
Okay.
story. But what I'm trying to say is I'm angry, and that's great for you because I'm probably going to say something I regret today.
Okay,
Okay?
great.
I'm probably going to get canceled. And that's probably great because that solves the internet fucking problem, doesn't it? I
Then
don't
you
need
don't
to
need
be
it
on
anymore.
Instagram
Yeah.
anymore.
Just get some Encyclopedia Britannica and
Uh,
you're good to go. It'll
yeah,
replace.
no, the whole like, any goddamn thing that you have to say that goes against what other people think, you're a Nazi. Well, I can't be a Nazi because the Nazis wouldn't have been very nice to me. And that's the sad part, Nick, is that this is the only way. This is the only way I have to prove my victimization, right? I have to give proof of my victimization before I'm allowed to say anything, right? That
Right.
could possibly be not considered kind, right? And I'm not crazy right wing. I'm just fucking tired. I'm just
Right.
tired of people being victims, okay? I was born with a cleft lip and palate. It was hard, okay? But that is not all that I am, right? And I shouldn't have to use my cleft lip and palate as my golden ticket to be able to say anything on the internet.
That's the issue, right? Because like some people will say, if you're, let's say you're talking about racial issues as a white person and people go, this isn't your thing to talk about. First of all, I
Yeah,
disagree with that already anyway. Everybody can talk about everything and you can't let one side only monopolize a conversation. There has to be back and forth, give and take, right? But
yeah,
I also, it's a little more understood, maybe talking about it when you're talking about it with somebody who is what would be considered an ethnic minority, to be like,
for
okay,
sure.
you guys have a little more wiggle room here to talk. But now it seems that in order to talk about anything, you absolutely have to prove that there's been some shit that's happened to you in your life so that it justifies you being mad at some aspect of society or
Yeah,
especially some type of what would be a sacred cow type of thing. Like if you wanted to talk about trans issues, you shouldn't have to prove that, some awful shit happened to you. Your parents were pancaked in
yeah,
a fucking by a goddamn school bus in order to be able to talk about that. Like,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree totally. I mean, and it doesn't mean that, yes, someone of color is going to have a view of the world sometimes, in some ways, different than me. A trans person is going to have, like, I understand that your experience, your lived experience is important, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't, my problem with it is because I talk about having a cleft lip and palate. I talk about being bullied. I talk about all that stuff in the context of I want people to understand that it isn't the only thing about me. It's
Hmm.
one small part of my life experience,
Hmm.
and you can overcome. That's where it's great to talk about your trauma, great to talk about all the different things that have happened to you in your life, because then somebody else watching can be like, oh, well, if they overcame that, I can too. The
Hmm.
problem is when it becomes a hierarchy of your victimization is less than my victimization, and and also the idea of you have to take somebody down a peg in order for us to be equal, right?
Hmm.
Like for example, pretty privilege. I feel like I can talk about pretty privilege is a thing now. Have you heard
Okay.
about this?
I have
This
not
whole
heard about that.
It's this thing. Now it's on the internet. You heard all about Trump sucking Clinton's dick.
I
I
have
did
heard about
not
this,
hear
yes.
about that on the internet. That was new. I found that out from you. But but there's this thing, pretty privilege, right? That if you're pretty, you have like this higher privilege, right?
Oh,
And
I thought
so,
you said pricky privilege, and I was like, pricks get privilege? Pretty privilege. I have heard of
see, I have a
attractive
speech
privilege.
impediment. I'm a fucking victim.
I'm I'm so sorry. I will shut down and shutter all of my accounts on the internet.
Oh, you're non-spit privilege. You're dry mouth privilege.
The gland.
Yeah.
Anyway,
How do you enjoy that palate? Huh?
I
Your
mean,
your tongue hits the top of it, and you actually can make the sound of a P. Must be nice.
but I have heard of pretty privilege. I have heard of that.
Pretty privilege, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the idea that like, and okay, yeah, I can agree. Good-looking girls, good-looking guys, they get, they get some perks. That's life.
Mhm.
Okay, we all have our things that we have to use to try to get up the ladder, to crawl out of the crab bucket, right? But there are pretty people. I know some pretty women who are gorgeous, but have lived lives that would make you and me shit our pants.
Mhm.
Okay, so so it all evens out, right?
Mhm.
I can't sit here and be like, oh, well, I'm not pretty, and I can hear them clicking now. Nikki, you're being self-deprecating. You don't have self-esteem. Fuck you. I have worked hard for my fucking self-esteem, okay? And self-esteem isn't lying to yourself and telling you, oh, I'm beautiful. I'm just so gorgeous. I'm not. I'm a bit of a fucking gargoyle. A cute gargoyle, but a gargoyle nonetheless, right? And that's life. That's life. I can't be upset because Milan isn't calling for me to march down, or Vogue isn't calling for me to be on the. Oh, how dare they not put fucking gargoyles like me on the front of Vogue? How dare they? Oh, how dare. Are you attracted to me, Nick? You fucking better be. Okay? Because if you're not attracted to me, that means you're gargoyle phobic, fucker. Gargoyle phobic. I have worked hard for my self-esteem, Nick, okay? And self-esteem is not lying to myself and saying, I'm beautiful. It's saying I spit when I talk. Sometimes people don't know what I'm saying. I look a little like a Muppet. And you know what? I'm pretty fucking awesome anyway. That is self-esteem. Okay, and I'm spitting all over my iPad right now. I can see it. Okay, I am worked up. That is self-esteem. Lying to yourself is not self-esteem. It's looking at yourself honestly for the human being that you are, warts and all, and saying, you know what? All in all, she's pretty okay.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's like, I think it's ridiculous for people I mean, you go like, we can go into this, the beautiful at any size thing or whatever. Again, it's not like it's not about what individual people are attracted to or whatever, but that movement got carried away, because ultimately what it comes down to is it's hard to lose weight. I fucking up, down, I try, but it's a really tough thing to do because food is really good and moving hard sucks. So you just don't want to do it. But instead of being like, just accepting, look, some people are going to be like this, we had to go, well, some people are going to be like this, and we have to say that it's, they're just as beautiful as anybody else and whatever. And it just got so out of control. And then it got to the point where we started talking about like health. Oh, being overweight doesn't affect your health. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
That's bullshit.
Yeah, everybody knows that it does.
Bullshit.
And I hope somebody
is.
watching
And
right
here,
now
I got
drops
another-
links and.
I got another victim ticket here. I got another victim ticket. so that people can't get mad at me. Well, they can, but they can fuck off. I have a predisposition to type 2 diabetes. I have one kidney because I gave my father a kidney because he had type 2 diabetes. Okay. My biological grandmother lost her legs because of type 2 diabetes. Okay. So I am never going to be a twig. Never. Okay. Because biologically, I'm built bigger. Right. Like, even when I'm at my like best, like in my 20s when I was working out really hard, I looked more like the girls at UFC. Right?
Okay.
Like that, like
Yeah.
I don't make, I'm not a willow. I'm not willowy, right? And if I were to not work out and eat whatever I want, I would be fucking huge, okay? Because that's my genetics. I
Hmm.
wouldn't be healthy. I have to. I hate spin class. I fucking hate it, but I go to it every day, Nick. I do it, and I do, and I two times a week I go to the gym to like fucking go on that thing, get your legs,
Yeah, that
fucking the
one. Yeah.
legs, pulls your. It's like having a fucking pap test done.
Yeah, it's really awkward when people use that machine.
Yeah,
I don't do it.
yeah,
It makes me feel weird.
yeah. It's
Um,
just a fact. It's just a fact that I have to work out if I don't want to go on Ozempic for the real reason Ozempic was made.
yeah, no, because the beautiful at any size movement. It went like oh, it's not healthy.
Some of them are
Or
dying. Some of them are dying, and they're young women.
yeah, I mean it's
It's
bad.
atrocious.
It's bad for you to be super overweight. That's why it's like,
Yeah,
but everybody would be honest with me. No one's gonna, and this I find this it's a double standard towards men and women as well, right? Like the beautiful at
absolutely.
any size was like, women are beautiful at any size, but if this guy's fat, we're gonna call him fat. You know what I mean? Like no one's gonna say to me, "Don't worry, your health isn't at risk. You're beautiful at any size." They're gonna be like, "You've put on some weight." And it's not going to be good for your heart later on and your knees and for diabetes and all these other conditions that come along with carrying extra
Right.
weight. It's just a fact. You just have to deal with
And it's
facts as they are.
okay to love yourself where you're at. That's okay. As long as you're honest about it. It's like,
Hmm.
I am big right now, right? Like I had lost a ton of weight about a year ago, and I had like, well, I'm pretty sure you know, I've had some pretty fucked up you want to talk about trauma. Like, I lost my niece and nephew a year ago in a car crash. And so I got to eating, right? Like, I didn't drink, I didn't do drugs, but the bakery knows me on a first name basis here in Shediac, right? And so I started gaining weight, right? And it's okay. Like, I'm not like, you know what? You had a rough fucking year, right?
Hmm.
You've had a rough year and you ate a lot of cake, right? But now you have to get back in the gym and you have to stop eating cake. Right?
Yeah.
And but I can't, I still, that you can say that to yourself in a loving manner and in a manner where you think, God damn it, you are beautiful because you fucking lived through the year that you've been through.
Hmm.
Right? So
Yeah.
it like, I'm just, it's not that people don't deserve empathy. They do. But empathy doesn't mean being dishonest.
No, you have to separate between being respectful, understanding that anybody can live, like have these experiences themselves. Like we're all in it together without saying 2 + 2 = 5. Like we just,
Right.
and that's the where I always end up bucking against like societal, like whatever the new conversation point is about whatever the new protected group or this or that is that they don't just demand like, hey, just leave us alone. It's like, leave us alone, but also these are the things you have to say about this thing. And if you say something that's not that, you're a piece of shit. And
Yes.
and like we can't live that way.
Yes.
My brain logically will not say something that I don't believe. The
Right.
best I can do is be quiet, and I'm not very good at that. But if logically it doesn't make any sense to me, I'm not just going to say it just to get by.
Right.
It seems like a bad thing to do.
We're Nova Scotians. We can't keep our mouths shut.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
um There was well, you talked about that lived experience. So people have different lived experiences, which is true.
Right.
And I think that's like something to take into account. But that's mainly, I find, you take that into account when you're having a one-on-one or even a small group conversation. Stuff like that makes
Right.
sense to have like no, your lived experience matters. And that's why we're talking about it. The problem is that people try to use this lived experience thing as like a way to this is how we should mandate policies and
Yeah.
society, and I'm like, you can't do that though, because your lived experience isn't the same. I mean, you can look at like one group and say, okay, they do have a commonality in some aspect of a shared experience, but they're all different individuals, and one thing that happened to this person didn't happen to that person. So you
Right.
can't obviously govern society based on somebody saying, well, this happened to me, so we have to do things this way.
Yeah.
That just isn't the way you can do it.
For example, let's go back to my Vogue. How dare they not put me on a Vogue? There hasn't been a woman with a cleft lip and palate on Vogue since its inception. That needs to change. Right? So now, am I supposed to bump some young girl that's like been, working her way up through the modeling and finally has a
Mhm.
chance to be on the cover of Vogue for some reason, right? And nope, I have a cleft lip and palate. I
Yeah.
get to be on it,
Yeah. Do you know how many
right? No,
molestations she had to go through to get that fucking
right?
job? Like,
Right?
she earned it.
How
Talk
many
about
creepy
victimhood.
old men? Like, that's another thing. With the pretty privilege is definitely something I can talk about, right? Because I grew up in a trailer park. This is another, we're going to go dark, unfortunately. But in my trailer park in like the late 80s, early 90s, lots of poor, vulnerable girls lived there. And there were young men that would come in and pay a lot of attention to the pretty girls, become their boyfriend, or so the girl thought, right? And then before you know it, she's having trouble with her parents, and he's, using all those vulnerabilities like, come with me, just come live with me. We'll just be in love and come with me. And then before you know it, she's a stripper in Calgary, and, and she's being trafficked,
Yeah.
right? We didn't know back then when we were kids what being trafficked meant. It just meant that, in my mind, it was like, oh, she got a shitty boyfriend and he makes her strip in Calgary now.
Hmm.
Like, and
Which
other
also,
things I
even that
won't,
on its face sounds bad, but then when you
right?
understand that it's trafficking, it's much
Yeah.
worse. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, it's called boyfriend pimps. Now we have words for it, right? But when I was a kid, and, at the end of the day, being a bit of a gargoyle kind of saved me. Being an awkward kid, I had one tit and a woolly mullet. So there were no boyfriend pimps looking my way.
God.
But you know what I mean? So
Yes, I know.
that privilege can change depending on the situation.
Yes, yes. Also, I think the victimhood status and like becoming a status symbol. I would say, this is my opinion on it. You can agree or disagree on it, but the idea that it's generational too. It's like, it's not like older generations aren't like proud of victim. They don't
Yeah.
necessarily pump it out as much. It is the younger generation. I think maybe it might be even turning in Gen Z though. I think they're kind of done with it. It was
It
like,
does seem to be changing. There seems to be some
yeah.
kind of change in the wind. Because like, I understand too that sometimes you have to bend something a little too far to get it to go straight, right?
Hmm.
So that could very well within like the whole victimization thing could just be a thing in which it had to get bent too far for us to go, oh, okay, wait a minute, that's crazy. But hey, look, now we've got it straight, right?
Yeah.
Because, but again, I'm not against empathy. We should be fucking nicer to one another. We
Hmm.
really should. And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't give somebody a leg up if they're
Hmm.
having a hard time. Like I had surgery done that was paid by the taxpayers, right? I took that shit, and ran with it, right? Like, so I'm not saying that there isn't like, I'm just using my lived experience because
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
you
of
know, it's
course.
fucking safer. It's safer.
Yes, it's yeah.
Right?
No, the thing is, it was saying that too. It's great. It's like, yeah, we should be nicer to people, but I think that actually taps into an interesting idea here, where we should be nicer to people, but I don't think this movement is about being nicer to people.
No, it's
It's the
about
exact
lying.
opposite. It's about
Yeah.
deciding who you can be so mean to that it's inhuman. Like, you
Yeah.
can just literally say, this person, because of these reasons, isn't worthy of my time or respect. All of
Yeah.
these other people deserve much more of it, you
Yeah.
know? And yeah, I think that's kind
Yeah.
of
And
one
that's
of the
based
issues.
on an assumption. Looking at somebody, you know, I'm looking at you. I see a white male. You're living in a nice place, so I'm thinking you're probably middle class of some level, right? You know, I can. It's based on a lot of assumptions. I have no idea what your life has been.
I
I have no
literally
idea.
just took a gun out of my mouth before we started this podcast.
Oh, time for the podcast. Like, I guess I'll live for another hour. Like, you know, I have no idea. No idea. And like I said before, I know lots of really gorgeous women that were, you know, that have had really tough lives. Like, you know, so looking at somebody and making an assumption about who they are, no matter who it is wrong.
Mm-hmm. And
Because
then
you don't know.
we're also in such a fictitious world. This is like two different points where it's like, first of all, I think most of the reason why these issues get so exacerbated is because of the fact that there's too much content and there's too much need to produce content, so they just kind of make shit up or make things out of things that aren't there. They create their own straw men and then attack them.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, we view people online as always being better off than we are. They're always happier, they're always whatever, because we see only the highlights of their lives, right? And then we have to experience our stuff. Like, if somebody just accidentally live streamed themselves taking a big, messy diarrhea shit, we'd be like, okay, well, that person's human, you know? Like, they have to,
Yeah.
like, but instead,
No.
it's just like, no, it's perfect, it's perfect, it's perfect.
Yeah, no, you see me here, right? And I took some of that spray to spray some of my graves. Obviously, it didn't work. I didn't do it well enough. So if I started sweating right now, I'd look like Giuliani at a press conference outside. Right? It's all like I have makeup on. And you can't even tell because of the lights. I have a ridiculous amount of fucking makeup on my face right now. And I just look normal.
One,
And like, you know, and I'm sitting here, you know, you see the background that I picked, right? You don't see the fucking mess behind here.
oh
where all
yeah,
the,
I
like,
push
dog shit
I
is.
push everything this way. Before, when I was setting up the thing, I was like, oh fuck, the fucking, there's that there, you know, whatever, and you know.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
see the triangle. All you see is the triangle of goodness.
Yeah.
Right, in the camera, right? You don't see the. And if I were to take you, I can take y'all into my laundry room right now and show you the washing machine that fills up and then doesn't do anything else. That's, you know,
Yeah.
that's. Oh, and now I forgot to turn off my phone. Call 911. It's not my problem.
We got I got an alert at some point in time during this as well. There's some warning alert.
Oh
that-
yeah, I got that too. It's my mom. Okay,
Oh.
I'm not answering it because it's my mom, and it's about nothing. I can assure.
All right, there's one more thing I want to say on this issue before we get to the next one that we disagree on, and this is it's obviously, I think we got to this. It's a left-wing issue.
And I'm left wing.
I know.
I vote NDP all the time.
Yeah, I know. I'm left wing, even though I'm sure there's people that wouldn't believe it. 'Cause
No.
there's things that obviously opinions that I hold, but it's not even opinions. It's just a different way of thinking. That's another thing. When, like, you can disagree with somebody, you can also agree with somebody, but disagree with, like, what their solution is for the issue, right?
Right?
But this seems to be a left-wing issue, and I think the left-wing are doing themselves a disservice because it's bigging up victimhood status. The right wing is full of people that are the exact opposite, giving the exact
Bullies.
opposite advice. Well, there's a lot of bullies, but then there's just also
We're
a lot
not
of...
like to say it, but there's also people, just
Well,
people like
But there's
think-
like bring up
A
someone.
little different than us.
I'll bring up the man who should not be mentioned, but Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson, if you write him off immediately and just say he's crazy and full of shit, you can do that if you want to. But actually, if you pick out some of his batshit stuff and get rid of that, and just listen to some of the practical advice that he has, it's not bad advice, and it's not. But he's so demonized that everything that he would say would automatically be put through the lens of, well, this guy's a fucking idiot and he's anti whatever, blah blah blah. But like literally,
he doesn't speak to me,
no.
right? Like there's things that he says that I'm like, well, that's fucking crazy, right? He has every right to say whatever crazy shit he wants to say, and on top of it, he's really helped my brother. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. He was
I don't see it, but all I know is that he really helped my brother, and I love my brother, so
Yeah, well, he's speaking to
right?
young men specifically. That
Yeah.
was demonized, right? That they was like, oh, he's only talking to men, and this is bad. And it was like, if you listen to what he's saying to them, he's like, take care of yourself, take care of the people around you, fucking get up every day ready to do what you need to do, and stop blaming other people for your situation. Like that's like honestly him in a nutshell with more flowery
Yeah.
flowery language around it. But then he does say crazy shit, and he's super religious,
Yeah.
and I don't agree with that. And he's got like a bunch of things that I'm like, I don't agree with you. But the left wing, if they just could go, you know what, instead of just writing an entire person off, why don't we use the good and stop being so fucking partisan on this issue? Because we're going in the opposite direction and not telling people to do and personal responsibility. It's society's fault.
Yeah.
It's this thing that
The
you can't
system's
fix is
fault.
fault. Yeah, everything is the
But
system.
the
Nothing is
system's
ever.
always been shit. Have you ever been to Service Nova Scotia? Service
Yeah.
Ontario? Service enter whatever. We all know the system's broke. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and there's lots of elements about it that, could be fixed, and I understand, and you got to fight to
Yeah.
fix those, but some of it you do just have to go, I got to do shit for myself, because if
Yeah.
you just blame everybody, it's not going to work.
It's not gonna work.
All right, let's move on to the next topic. This is where we
Alrighty.
disagree, and I think this one's going to be juicy. 'Cause this one's a little more light, but okay. Self-checkouts are better than the register. I believe that statement. You do not believe that statement.
I do not.
Okay, so I really want to get your take on it. I'm going to just let you go first.
I'm lowering my camera here because I was sitting on my foot and my foot's gone to sleep. So there. All right, I'm ready.
All right. Why do
You
you think
bring
the
it.
register is better than self-checkouts?
You what?
Why do you think the register, going to the actual register, getting a cashier, is better than a self-checkout?
If it worked, it would be great. Okay? When it but normally it comes in and I scan the milk, right? And then the machine says, put it in the bag, put the item in the bag, and I put it in the bag, and then it says, put the item in the bag, and I'm like, it's in the bag. Put the item in the bag. So I take the milk out of the bag and I put the milk back in the bag. Put the item in the bag. The item's in the bag. Put the item in the bag. As God is my witness, the milk is in the cock-sucking bag. And then I'm kicked out of Sobeys.
I agree. Like I agree with that point. I don't find that happens as much anymore. Clearly, this is a fresh wound for you. But I used to hate it because of that. Like it did feel like, what the fuck are you talking about? Whatever. And then somebody would have to come over and help you anyway. And I'm like, well, this just seems like an extra step.
Yeah.
But now I'm finding, I don't know, maybe it's just the stores that I go to near in my neighborhood. They work perfectly. I never really have a problem with them. And then I just don't have to talk to anybody or wait in that line, right? Or be behind someone who's like fucking just doesn't know how to be a human being, just doesn't know how to operate efficiently. I find that like this removed that aspect. So I'm like, this is great. That's open. I'll go there, especially with like 2 or 3 items,
Not if you're behind the line of me doing a checkout. Then you are behind somebody that doesn't know how to function, doesn't know how to be a human. Okay, why don't you go and get yourself a whole bunch of produce, whole bunch of onions,
Okay.
some not bagged, individual onions. individual avocados, okay? And you see how efficient. Let's see how efficient old Nikki is. And I'm talking about you, not me. Let's see how efficient you are at the no frills, trying to run in individual goddamn onions. Is it a red onion? Is it a Spanish onion? Is it you're going through the fucking menu? How is that efficient? How? I'd much rather have Myrna, who's been there at the grocery store for 50 fucking years. She's got all the codes memorized in her head. Okay, she could ring in 50 different types of onions. Just done.
Yeah. I got to tell you, Toronto, there's not a lot of Myrnas working behind the cashier anymore. That's, I won't say it's, we got a lot of people from one place that have been, have come here. So
You fucking Nazi.
I understand where I really tiptoed into that too. And there's no point. I might as well just said it. Yeah.
Yeah. We still have Myrna's here in Shediac. But,
Of course.
But the Myrnas are changing, right? Which is
Myrna.
cool. It's cool.
Fine. It's fine.
All right, but that's a different podcast.
That is a different story.
That's not what we're arguing over, okay? But I really hate too the smack in the face. Have you done the self checkout at Shoppers Drug Mart?
Yes.
Okay, well, there's a whole controversy. I don't know if it's going on in Toronto, but there was a whole controversy that it's like Shoppers was so hardcore that they wanted this to happen that they offered nobody at the register, right?
Okay, yeah.
And I have to say, the Shoppers in Shediac barely has employees. Right? Like, you can't find anyone, right? So you have no choice most of the time. Sometimes there's an angry lady, Myrna, behind the cash, or they've got her doing 10 different things. They've got her stocking shelves, taking the passport photos, filling prescriptions, and she has to keep an eye on the one cash, right?
Yeah.
And so she's not happy. She's grumpy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You don't want to deal with Myrna now. Myrna with a robust staff.
I'd much rather I'm just going to check. There's no onions here at Shoppers Drug Mart. Everything's got a box with a scanner. So you scan it, but then the insult to injury that Shoppers Drug Mart does is at the end, the little machine goes, "Tell us how we did today." You didn't do anything. I did fucking great. I'm your best employee. Okay, but I didn't see. I could have walked out with all this shit. Okay, but I chose to pay for it, so I did great.
Yeah, I find that funny. No, the Shoppers in my neighborhood, yeah, there's usually somebody sort of near the register, but yeah, it's just a bunch of checkouts. But my Shoppers does sell like loose produce, which is something they should get the fuck out of. I understand Shoppers like expanding. It's not just a pharmacy into a few things, but get the fucking bananas out of there, man. If you're buying bananas at Shoppers, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. No, there's bananas. You can buy fucking avocados at the Shoppers. That's ridiculous. No,
that's wrong.
No, one thing I've noticed too, because I always found the self-checkout lines for a while were shorter or non-existent. Nobody would be there because they didn't like them, right? Everybody's like, this is stupid. So that's when I thrived. I'm like, boom, you're in, you're out. Like there's a bunch of people in line. But now I've noticed people are starting to like line up for that self-checkout line. So the registers are a little more open. And I will go wherever there is nobody. The least amount of people is where I'm going to go when it comes to cashing out, because I hate standing in line with a bunch of goddamn fucking groceries just waiting to pay. Like, it's literally my least favorite moment of humanity.
Which means we need to slow the fuck down. Honestly.
Well, it's only going to get worse, too.
And again, that's another podcast. But we're all like a little too like, gotta go, gotta do it, gotta go. Right? And so, but I get you. Right? And going to Walmart, going to No Frills, it's a bread line. to get to the self-service.
Yeah. Oh, the
Just
Walmart,
friendly.
the Walmart that's like sort of close to me here. They used to have self-checkout and then they stopped because it's not in a great neighborhood. And clearly it was just it was just people coming in and going, yeah, yeah, yeah. They scanned one thing and then
Yeah.
just fucking took off.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Oh,
but
wow.
that's the thing too. I don't actually mind if the self-checkout is there and people are using it to steal. I'm like, this is kind of what you're asking for. I mean, if you're gonna hire security or a staff member, fine, you got to hire people to basically watch people do the job that you used to do. But whatever it
I'm not
is.
sure if I'm spreading fake news or not, but from what I understand, they're losing. Some of the stores are losing more money than making it. Like it's like, oh, it would have been better. It's better if we just hire people to ring people out and watch them than to do this because we're losing so much money in merchandise. I could be
Yeah.
spreading false news, but I think that's
Somebody
starting to happen.
somebody I know or somebody that I know, they know this person. They used to do this where they would just go in and always just use like an invalid bank card, one that was done or whatever, and they would just go like tap it and it would just say declined, and then they just pick up their groceries and walk out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because then they always had the built-in excuse like, oh shit, fuck, I must have grabbed the wrong card, I just didn't even
Oh.
look, like
Oh,
they
that was a
always,
mistake, I
yeah,
guess.
they always
Yeah.
had it built in, and it was like, I haven't paid for groceries in months. I was like, you're brilliant. That is a brilliant
That's
move.
that's pretty brilliant.
Yeah, NASA should call this
Yeah.
guy and just get him in there.
All I have is I'm a victim.
Well, look, I think we figured this all out. That's what I say
All
at the end
right,
of
cool.
every
And I don't know if
podcast.
you can hear me,
I
but
can hear the
Shirley's
phone.
calling
I
again.
can hear the phone. I think we got to the bottom
Shirley.
of all this.
I'm taking her to her CT scan today.
Okay.
This is life in the Maritimes, okay? This is, you take your mom to the CTs. This is what your life would be if you were in Cape Breton right now, dude.
I actually fully understand that. Yeah. Thanks so much, Nikki. This was great. Do you have anything you're plugging at all? Anything you want to push or?
My Instagram account that I can't fucking get into right now because I bought the check mark, and apparently that means screw you. Anyway, yeah, Nikki Payne stop motion. At Instagram, same thing at TikTok, Nikki Payne stop motion, and yeah, TikTok, YouTube, it's all the same. Nikki Payne stop motion. I play with puppets alone in the woods.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic.
Oh, and I'm coming to Toronto in January.
Amazing. You're doing
Comedy Bar E. January 17th. It's my birthday.
Nice.
So buy some goddamn tickets.
Go out, get those tickets. I'll come and check it out too.
Pay
That's
for
awesome.
my birthday.
Thanks so much for coming on, Nikki. This was awesome.
Thank you. I'm ready to be canceled now.
Agree to disagree's a fancy way of saying fuck